I have Cindy Slack on our podcast today. I'm super excited to talk to Cindy. She's moving and grooving, and I can't wait to get to know her a little bit better. Cindy, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Julie?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for joining me in the podcast today, the Handcrafted Therapy podcast. I don't know if you've heard many of our episodes. I know you said you watched the one with our friend Hillary on it or
Mhm.
listened to that one. Generally, what I like to do is just kind of get to know you, hear your story. How did you get into massage? What are you doing now? That kind of thing. How did you get where you are in life? What lessons did you learn along the way that we can glean from you? What
Mhm.
mistakes have you made that have reaped really good opportunities for you to learn something? Those are the kinds of things that we're kind of looking for on the podcast.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So let's get right into it, Cindy. How did you get involved in the massage industry?
Well, I have been a massage therapist since 99, and I actually just didn't really know what to do with my life. I was just a couple years out of high school and trying to figure out what to do. And so it seems like massage is a lot more popular now and there's a lot more options. But back then, there really weren't, and it was weird to go into massage. So I actually had taken a career exploration class at a community college, and they had us take a personality test. And a couple of the things that came up for me was like a nurse or an acupuncturist. And I was like, "Ooh, acupuncture, that would be really cool." I knew I didn't want to be a nurse. But I looked into acupuncturists and that was a lot of school and I was like, "Oh, that is not for me." And came across massage and I was really interested in the whole body mind connection and all of that with it. And I went and got and after that it was like, "Oh, I could totally make people feel awesome all day long." So it just felt right away and I'm it's awesome to see that it's a lot more popular now and there's a lot more options. But like I said back then, and of course there was the internet, but not everybody had websites. And so like finding a school and all of that was a lot more complicated than it is now and finding places to work. So I wasn't originally planning on like being a business owner, but there wasn't anywhere to work as an employee. And so when I got started doing massage, just kind of grew into, oh, I'm basically on my own. And once I got comfortable with that and delved right in, it was great. But I never initially planned on being a business owner and the business aspect part was not what I was excited about at all.
Surprise.
Right. Right.
Well, gosh, so you probably got started when you were what, like 5 years old?
Right. Yes.
It just doesn't seem possible that I'm looking at somebody so young that said they've done this for, 25 years. So kudos.
You.
But what was it like before, all the, massage envies of the world came in and all of the big massage franchise came in? I guess you were pre all of that, right?
Yes. Yeah, and now, like, having those come in with already having an established practice, it's like, oh, not a threat at all. But I can imagine if that would have been the first starting out, that would have been a lot to try and compete with. But also, as a new therapist, I would have loved to have had some place to work like that just to get my hands working. So I definitely think there's a place for it and you can learn a lot from that. But yeah, when I started, there was just really not much around. And like I said, it was kind of weird to be
Yeah.
in massage. And it's a lot more common and accepted now, thankfully.
So where did you start working?
I had worked at a couple different places, as a contractor, like salons and spas, and which was not really my thing. And so I kind of jumped around for the first couple years. And then finally I was like, I just really need to have total control over my branding and my image and, the environment and everything. And so I had enough clients that I knew I could at least pay rent somewhere. And so I went in for an office and jumped in to really go in on my own. And that's really when it started to take off and do. And I really kind of wished I would have done that sooner, but I probably had some things to learn in those other places. And like I said, I was not excited about being a business owner or the business side of things. And so at first, well, this was before smartphones, of course, and everything was like on my desktop computer at my office and not online. So, like, I had all of my client files and everything there. And if I was sick or needed to contact clients or something and was home, I had to go to the office to get that information. It was just a mess. And when I was first starting out and I wasn't super busy, it was kind of easy to manage all of that on the fly and kind of not super organized. But then I started getting busy and it was like, oh no, I really need to have some systems in place and actually, track my income better and have better records. And so that was kind of when I started. Well, I was married at the time to a software developer. And I was like, man, it would be really cool if I had something that I could have all of my records in, and online scheduling was just coming out. And so we actually built BodyWorkBuddy, which is an online scheduling and management system. So online. So, I could check my records from anywhere. And so that was really a game changer for me as far as because we built in like recording your income and kind of making it a daily habit. Because before that, seriously, I would sit down at like the end of the year and like add up all of my income. It was a mess. And tax time was so stressful. And like I said, before I was busy, it wasn't a big deal. But then all of a sudden, I'm really busy with clients and I had just this mess because I'm just not a naturally organized, business minded type of person. So that really helped me to get all of those ducks in a row. And when I really got those systems in place, things started running a lot smoother and as far as the business, I'm like, oh, I am a business owner, not just a massage therapist, you
Very
know?
good. Well, I don't think that organization and that part of the business part of the business is really what comes naturally to most therapists.
Yeah.
We are very handsy, feely kind of people. We're emotional, we're
Yeah.
empathetic. None of those align with like logic and organization, unfortunately. So that's kind of a normal thing for most therapists, I think. So you're in Michigan, right?
I am.
Have you always been in Michigan?
Yeah. And we didn't have licensing back when I first became a massage therapist. So I think it was maybe 2013, 2015. I don't know, somewhere around there when we finally got licensing. So pros and cons there. But I mean, it definitely with massage kind of popping up everywhere now, I think it's a good thing. But we were kind of late on getting on the train with that.
Yeah, yeah. So you created Bodywork Media?
Buddy.
I'm
Oh
sorry?
yeah, Bodywork. Yep, Bodywork Buddy was my first venture into online stuff. And then now I've got Bodywork Media, which is like automated social media posts for massage therapists and automated email marketing. So I'm not naturally, or I wasn't naturally very tech savvy, but like I said, I was married to a software developer and we developed Bodywork Buddy. And as part of that, I kind of delved more into tech than I would have otherwise and have kept up with it out of necessity. And so I've actually grown to really enjoy creating content and email content and social media content. And so I just created a system to kind of easily automate all of that so that massage therapists can have an active online presence without spending a bunch of time creating all of that stuff.
And is this service affordable to the one room massage establishment kind of a person?
That's actually specifically who it's made for. It's like $63 a month, so less than the cost of an hour massage. And, really a solo massage therapist doesn't need a big social media management company or big, budget for social media like a spa or something would. We really just need to have an active presence there and to make it, connect with clients and show that we are. And so it's really meant for the solo therapist.
So does your company interact with their customers online? You just
No.
putting out like automatic posts?
Yeah, great
Yeah,
question. Yeah, so it's not actually like a social media management. It's more like a tool to help therapists be active on social media, but we don't interact with any of the clients or any of the posts or anything. We create the content and there's a portal where everything is connected to the therapist's social media sites. So we can load that portal up with content and the therapist just goes in and approves or edits whatever they want and it will automatically be scheduled to post into their social media. So they don't have to like download something and go and upload it into their Facebook or their Instagram and post it. From there, any interactions with clients or comments left on their social media or anything is up to the therapist.
got it. And do you customize these based on what the therapist wants to promote?
Really, it's general that could kind of work across the board for everybody, but each therapist has the ability to go in and edit all of the images. It's got an editor very similar to Canva. So they can go in and add their own branding and their own voice and colors and add their logo. And they can edit the caption and create any kind of promotional materials that they want as well. So the reason that the way that we're able to do it affordably is that it's basically content kind of mass produced for massage overall. And then the therapist has the ability to go in and customize it more if they want. But it's a good springboard for them to have a good place to start and not have to create everything from scratch, but they have the ability to make it into their own as much as they want. But I'm finding a
Oh,
lot of people just don't want to deal with any of that and they just approve what we have in there for them without customizing it. So that's an option too.
that makes sense. I mean, it really feels like a big time commitment to go in and do your social media marketing for your business. And I know a lot of people don't really even understand why they need it for their business or what to post, like you said, the content. And I think it sounds like you're just kind of helping people ease their way into social media and kind
Yeah.
of, give them some helpful tools so that they can post and be present online and, market their business appropriately. Now, I'm assuming that the content you provide is for people all over the nation, correct?
Yes. Yes. We even actually have some members in the UK and Australia.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's all in English, right?
Yep.
So, are you still practicing massage therapy?
I am. I specialize in ashiatsu or barefoot massage. And I used to teach years ago a CE class for that. I taught for about 10 years. But now I still just have my practice. I probably do about 15 hours a week currently. And it's just me. I don't have anybody working in with me or anything. But yeah, so keep pretty busy between actually working with clients and creating content for Bodywork Media and doing all of the wearing all of the hats of all of the business things. But
Right.
I do feel like it's helpful to still be doing massage. I think it's easy once you're not in the therapy room anymore to kind of, lose touch with some of those things. So, and I definitely see not doing massage. So I think it'll always be a part.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I kind of feel the same way. I mean, I've talked to several people on this podcast about that subject and how, I think as an instructor or as a leader in the industry, I think it's important to continue to serve clients
Yeah.
and touch bodies, frankly,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
like things change in our society,
True.
with the onset of wearable technology, I think that has a big impact on what we may be seeing in the future. You know, in the past 20 years, I mean, you've seen the progression of the tech neck, right? That wasn't around when
Yeah.
you
Right.
started massage school, right? And
Right.
in the last century. I mean,
Right.
we didn't have that 25 years ago. And, just the onset of some of these new technologies really, it's very interesting. And I think it's important for us to advance in these ways. And as
Mhm.
therapists, we need to know what these technologies are and how they affect people's bodies and how we can
Definitely.
help, better align them and better serve them and facilitate healing in their body.
Definitely.
What kinds of things have you learned in your businesses throughout your years that you wanna share?
Well, I
Um,
think I already touched on the big one was organization and actually thinking of myself as a business owner and not just a massage therapist. And that really affected how I did things in my practice. And that when I got organized and came at it from more of a business standpoint, it went a lot better.
yeah,
So, yeah, that would be the main thing. And I would say keeping up with the changing times and the new like ashiatsu, I don't think I would still be doing massage if I hadn't started working with my feet. So, 25 years is a long time. And I definitely think having learned barefoot massage is a big part of why I'm still able to do massage. So definitely always innovating, always learning new things, and also just the to keep that spark going. I found that when I would get feeling really burned out, it was really a big part of it was like I needed to learn something new, getting a little bored, and I would learn a new technique or something and it would help kind of reignite that spark.
I've been doing that for a long time, I take a new class just to give my I don't know, my mind and my body a vacation for a minute from the
Mhm.
day-to-day work and learn something new that reignites that spark of my love for massage. I think it's so important and so vital, I mean, and it's important for our clients because
Definitely.
you know, they need us fresh and excited about our work and not just doing you know
Definitely. Yeah. And a lot of my clients would say throughout the years, "Oh, I love that you're always learning new things."
Yep.
Or even I would do something in a session that I hadn't done with someone before, and they would be like, "Well, that's new." And I was like, "Oh, I haven't done that." Like it's actually always been in my toolbox. I just hadn't done it on that person. But they really seem to appreciate that there's always more that they don't know that
Yep.
I do or offer, and that I can change it up and kind of keep them on their toes.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I mean, it does validate our price point as well.
True.
The more training you have and the more tools you have in your toolbox, the more you can charge.
That's true.
One of the things that I've always done every time I've taken a class is I take a picture of like the syllabus or the handout with my pen with my logo on it. And I post it
Yeah.
on social media. And I know it's real cheesy. It's like first day of school
Oh,
picture,
it's
but
perfect.
I do it for every class I take. And I do that because this is an investment in my business and in me that I need my audience to understand that I'm doing. And because it's for them, it's for their benefit.
Yeah.
I just love that as a social media, as part of my social media marketing is really, enhance. my, you know, my skills and let people know that that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So, Cindy, you mentioned that you needed to adjust your mentality to think about your business and focus on the business side. How did you do that? And what do you mean by that?
That's a good question. I don't really know how to explain how I did that. I would say before that shift, I really avoided the business side of things. So part of it was just, okay, I have to like really look at this and, really map this out and really do this, even though it's not very fun. So part of it is kind of scheduling it into my schedule. So not thinking of just when I'm working with clients as being my work time, having time in my schedule where I do bookkeeping and where I do notes and things like that and have it actually scheduled in, I would say is a big part of what works for me.
Yeah, I mean, I would tag onto that and say, you need a little more motivation than just the self motivation. That's the point at which you reach out to mentors and
Mm-hmm.
colleagues or even hire a coach, right?
Yeah, I think that's great. And definitely when I was starting wasn't something that was easily accessible. So definitely something now that I think is really great for newer therapists or anyone needing a little extra support, that we have so much with social media, and we're definitely much more of a connected community now than when I first started, and doesn't feel as lonely, and you can definitely learn a lot from the community.
I love that you said that because that's one of my favorite things to do in Dallas is to create this beautiful massage community of people who support each other. And, you know, one of the things I posted on my social media just a couple months ago, and I truly mean it from the bottom of my heart, is you can't compete with me because I'm rooting for
Yes.
you.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
I just love that phrase so much. You can't compete with me because I'm rooting for you. And,
Mhm.
we all are in this business because we love to help people. And
Yeah.
that's really what brings us together as a community, I think, more than anything. Because, unless you're like Eric Dalton, you're not in this to be a millionaire, right?
Right, right.
And
None of
no
us are getting
disrespect.
rich here.
Yeah, no disrespect
Right.
to
Sure.
Miss Dalton, of course, but you know, the rest of us, for the rest of us, we're really here to help others, right? And
Mhm.
whoever comes on our table, we want to help facilitate their healing and work together with our massage community to help make sure that our clients are really well taken care of in their healthcare needs. So you've kind of done a mental shift from going from I'm really angry at myself for not being organized to
Mhm.
I'm really going to try to focus on what I need to do to make my business successful, right?
Mhm.
And you at some point must have had some aha moment to say, I can't get through this hurdle unless I make this mental shift. In saying all that, I think I don't think it's easy to just say, I'm going to shift my mindset. Boom.
Right.
Right.
If
But
only. Yeah.
yeah, if only. But I do believe that like getting together with other therapists, whether it be through the AMTA, ABMP, other massage groups, maybe you have some networking groups in your area. If you don't, you create one. It's so
Definitely.
just go to your local coffee shop, put it out on a
Mhm.
meetup. But I do believe that helping each other is important. And,
Mhm.
like I said, massage therapists are empathetic. I don't think you're going to go wrong if you reach out to our community. And what do you think about advertising on social media and spending marketing dollars that way?
That is a good question. I think it depends on the therapist's business. and what direction they're going and things. But for the solo therapist, I don't know that it's worth the dollars because as a solo therapist, you're only going to have so many hours of massage that you can do. And like I said earlier, you don't need all of the expense of a huge social media agency like a spa would. And I really think the better thing to focus on is being consistent in a online presence and then like email marketing, implementing that in, I think is better return on your investment, which is mostly a time investment at that point, than like advertising on social media. And with bodywork media, I never claim to get clients for people or, it's really a tool to help you stay active in your online presence rather than like, oh, this is going to get you 20 new clients.
Does your tool provide metrics?
It does. It has an analytics area, so it can show you over time. And that's definitely something that is important to kind of look at to make sure that the content that you're posting is resonating with your audience but doesn't I don't necessarily see that as always connecting to X amount of appointments made. It's more of deepening that relationship with your audience and with your clients. And and that's where email marketing comes into is a much more personal. So like social media is a great way to introduce yourself and start that relationship and then you can really deepen it with email marketing.
Does your company offer like a monthly or quarterly newsletter?
Yes, it actually there's a whole area of pre-written articles that you can use. So you can use them for blog posts or email newsletters or however you wanted to use them. You could print them out and have them as actual newsletters in your studio. But we also have email marketing that is like a weekly series email to guide someone from when they first learn about you and then weekly over time to build that relationship with them and help them learn more about what you do. And all of that is a editable, customizable. Editable is a weird word. But so you can go in and customize it as much as you'd like to your voice and your practice.
Nice. So, like, if I wanted to hire you guys to do my marketing for me and help me with my online presence and my newsletter, I can go in and kind of change that content to make it
Yeah.
feel more like me. Maybe a
Yes.
picture of my little fluffy dog and,
Yes.
I'm trying to think,
Yep.
okay, I gotcha. I gotcha.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, with the email and with the social media too, you can always add in your own stuff at any time too. So definitely helps have that base content to always keep your presence active. And then when you have time to in your more personal stuff, you can create some personal posts and emails as well to kind of have it more personalized.
Nice. Nice. I'm really excited to watch what you've created and seen what you've done over the years. I think it's pretty amazing, Cindy.
Thank you.
Thanks for your work in our industry. Is there anything else that you want to talk about with your online tool that may any of our listeners?
Oh, I do have a free 90-day content calendar. So I find a lot of us therapists, as you had mentioned earlier, like thinking of what to post. A lot of people just post, oh, these are my openings this week, but then kind of draw a blank as to what else to post, or they'll get really active with posting for a while, but then keeping up with it is such a time issue and constantly coming up with new things to post. So I do have a free 90-day calendar. And so it's got content for 90 days straight, specifically for massage, basically a content prompt each day in the calendar to give you an idea of what to post other than these are my openings this week.
Awesome. So we'll make sure to add that link to this podcast information.
Good.
Cindy, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. I really enjoyed speaking with you.
Thank you for having me, Julie.
Thank you so much for joining me on the Handcrafted Therapy podcast. I would love to hear from you. You can email us at podcast@handcraftedtherapy.com, or you can come by the store. It's at 3303 North Central Expressway, suite number 240 in Plano, Texas, 75023. Or you can connect with me on social, Instagram, Facebook, #HandcraftedTherapy. I'm Julie Alexander, and I wish you a very happy and healthy day.